Hey guys, so if you're on a GLP-1 medication like Ozempic or Wegovy, Zepbound, you're going to want to hear this because yes, these medications help with weight loss, they help with blood sugar, they help with appetite, but there is something in the midst of all this that I'm not hearing a whole lot about online, and it's something that I see every week in and week out. I have 11 clients right now that are on GLP-1s, and I see it and I hear it over and over again, so I just want to cover it with you for a quick second. What can easily happen is that you lose more than weight. You're losing muscle, and that can have some huge consequences once you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s. So my name is TR. Otherwise, the name of this channel wouldn't make a lot of sense. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a nutrition coach, and I don't want to scare you. It's not about getting you demoralized. It's about empowering you guys and how best to work within the confines of this drug and get the most out of it. So what I want to do here is break down the truth and, more importantly, get to how we can fix it. So the first thing you need to know about these GLP-1 medications is that they work to suppress your appetite, and that's fantastic for losing weight. There are 7 evidence-based benefits supported by clinical trials and real-world data. The first is significant and sustained weight loss, averaging about 12 to 20% body weight reduction in 1 to 2 years. The second is the improvement or even remission of type 2 diabetes. It eliminates the need for other glucose-lowering drugs that carry hypoglycemic risk for older people. The third is a major cardiovascular risk reduction, 20 to 26% relative reduction in major adverse cardiovascular events, meaning heart attacks and strokes. It also lowers blood pressure. The fifth is a reduction in chronic kidney disease progression, 24% lower risk of kidney disease progression. Next is potential neuroprotective effects. There's small data studies that show slower cognitive decline and possible reduction in Alzheimer's biomarkers. And the last one is an improved quality of life and physical function, less joint pain, better mobility, reduced need for joint replacement. So this is definitely a drug that has a lot of upsides for older adults. But for people over 50, the side effect of not wanting to eat can be a really big problem. Because if you are eating less, you are almost certainly not getting enough protein. And protein is the number one thing that protects us as we get older. So what's going to happen is that your body's going to do what it always does. It's going to go into survival mode. It's going to keep you alive. And so it's going to start burning muscle alongside the fat that it's burning. That's a problem. It's going to mean that you lose strength, you lose power, you lose bone support, you lose your balance, and essentially your day-to-day life becomes harder instead of easier. You're becoming a smaller version of yourself, but you're losing muscle along the way, and that's just making you weaker. And I feel like that's the part that nobody warns you about. So that brings us to sarcopenia, which is what happens after you're about 50 or so. You start losing 1 to 2% of your muscle mass per year, and that's not being on this drug. So when you add this drug to the mix, you could be 3 to 4 to 5% muscle loss per year, unless you do something about it. So what happens as people start losing their muscle and they start feeling weak and they start feeling fragile, they start to panic. It starts to be a very scary, unempowering feeling. That's not the medicine trying to hurt you. That's just your body doing what it needs to do to survive. I work with real people every day, and the results are very predictable. I see it over and over again. Well, I recently had a client who did go on the GLP-1 medication and started to lose her appetite, which meant she started to eat less, which meant she got weaker and didn't feel as strong and didn't want to come to the gym, didn't have the energy to do so anymore. And so, yeah, over the course of a little bit of time, she lost about 20 pounds. But how much of that was muscle? Maybe 8 or 10 pounds worth of it was muscle loss. So the idea here is to try to come up with a way to have you get the benefits of the drug, but also maintain the fitness and the protein count you need to most effectively navigate it. And I've had another client who had decided that he was going to use the GLP-1 as a tool, but not as a cure-all for everything. And he continued to get his protein in through protein shakes when necessary if the appetite was just not agreeing with him. But he stayed in the gym, stayed on task, and lost the weight, but stayed healthy and looked vibrant and didn't have that hollow feeling and that hollow look that comes from very fast muscle wasting. So here's the good news. You can stay on the GLP-1, you can lose weight, and you can stay strong throughout the process. What I want to do here is give you the exact formula that I give my clients. If you come away from this video having remembered only one thing or taken one thing away from it, it is that protein is a must. period. My simple rule is that you should try to get 1 gram of protein for every pound you want your goal weight to be. So if you're looking to get to be 155 pounds, you need to get 155 grams of protein in your body every single day. And if you don't feel hungry, that's fine. That's why protein shakes exist. I personally use a clear whey protein because it's a lot easier on my stomach and I just digest it better. And I want to try to impart upon you the need to get into the gym 2 or 3 times a week. That doesn't mean bodybuilding. That doesn't mean lifting incredible weights. It means coming into the gym, getting your workouts in, leg press, bench press, biceps, triceps, all the major muscle groups, get them worked out, get them activated, get them happy, and then go home and feed them protein. It's your muscle strength that's going to help protect your joints. That's going to help you with arthritis. That's going to keep you moving in the right direction. Machines are perfectly fine for all of that. You don't have to sweat it. There's also exercises you can do at home, but just stay active, just keep moving. Make sure you don't get into a muscle wasting state. I know that you won't be hungry, but your muscles still will. So you just need to follow a simple structure. You want to have protein in the morning. That can be a protein shake and some fruit. You can have lunch, try to make it protein heavy again, and then dinner with a lean meat or fish. Okay, so the fourth thing I want you to do is to fuel your workouts. Carbohydrates before you start working out. That could be a banana, it could be a Greek yogurt, it could be half a protein bar, but you want to make sure you get some carbs in there, get the fuel rolling inside your body so that you don't get fatigued halfway through the workout and hit the wall. So fix number 5 is hydration and electrolytes. GLP users are eating less food. Water is carried within the food, therefore you can get dehydrated. You also might feel sluggish and tired. You're going to want to get your electrolytes in as well. If you're not eating enough food, you're not getting those natural minerals, you're not getting the electrolytes you need. So more food, it's going to create more water, and or at the very least, make sure you're keeping enough water handy and drinking enough water each day. So if you're considering taking GLP-1s, I would say it's absolutely a blessing. I know that some people have mixed feelings about it. I think it's a great tool towards a better health. If you want to lose the fat, you want to keep your muscle intact, and you want to enjoy your retirement years. So that's your choice. It's your decision to make if that's a goal you have. I just want to make sure that you know these couple of little rules and put them in place. Put together a downloadable PDF file that you can find in the description below. It covers strength training, protein goals, hydration. I've got troubleshooting in there. I've got a list of supplements and a sample day you can check out, as well as a checklist. So that'll be in the description down below. Feel free to download it. It's completely free, and hopefully that'll help keep you on track. As always, guys, like, share, follow, subscribe. I'm going to be back next week with some new stuff. In the meantime, I'm out. Thanks, guys.